everybody, welcome back. Unboxing time. Yeah, it's a little different. We'll get to that in a second. But hey, it's time for the October 2020. Is it October or is this September? I think this is October. 2020 Horror Pack. Ooh, it already tells you in the description if I don't. We will address the fact that Mary's not here in a moment, but in the meantime, if you want to check out Horror Pack, I have a link in the description below, and I do believe that gets you a little bit of a discount at checkout. And last I checked, you can choose between Blu Rays or DVDs, and they're going to send you 4, sometimes more, movies every month, horror related, and one of them will always be a complete exclusive that you can, at least at the time of release, only get via Horror Pack themselves. So that's usually pretty cool. Keep in mind, I do have a huge movie collection, over 7,000 titles, over 7,000, but they still somehow managed to send me a lot of stuff I don't have, and because now I do the movie reviews, even if I do have it, it's a good excuse to rewatch a cool horror film. So there's all of that. That's what I normally say. Again, I'm out of practice doing one of these all on my own. So we have them in the envelope. I'm gonna go through, we're gonna watch trailers, I'm gonna review the movies. So, you know, we started doing too many subscription boxes to where we were just getting behind. Like, you know, I mean, I'm putting out July videos in October for some of these boxes. So we're splitting it up now, and the ones that Mary's not terribly interested in, which sadly is Horror Pack, because she's not a horror kid, are ones I'm going to do kind of like this or different ways from now on, and I'm fine with that. I think it'll be kind of fun and something a little bit different, and then I get to do cool stuff in, I don't know, am I in a graveyard? Am I in a forest? I don't even know, because I don't look behind me. But all that said and done, I'm just anxious to get in here. Now, Mary may pop in for reviews, depending on the movies, too. I'll try to get her to watch one each box, but we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna get started in here then, and also, I'm gonna cut to photos of the boxes instead of futzing with focus, even though I'm still gonna whip them up to camera just because that makes me feel better. But first movie, we definitely have 4 in here. Oh, and that's the other thing. I knew there was something else I wanted to tell you. I just discovered this, and I may need to take advantage. I go month to month, it's like 25 bucks, but apparently if you do a year, you get like a bonus movie at the end of the year, and the one right now is a 4K of Christine, John Carpenter's Christine. I already have Christine's on 4K, so I'm not worried about it, but I'm gonna have to upgrade for the future. Also, I'm very distracted by looking at the monitor, so I will try to remember to focus at y'all. All right, let's get into the unboxing. First up, we have, oh, I wanted to see this. I did the trailer for this. This came and went and disappeared. It might not be very good, but I don't care. I want to see it. We have Patient Zero, Matt Smith, Natalie Dormer, and Stanley Tucci. Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang. Hashtag Eric So White. And it's a Sony release. Yeah, baby. All right, well, let's show off the box. We'll show you the back there, so you can kind of take a quick little look at that and maybe pause if you want to read it, although I'm going to read it to you. And then we'll cut around to the front of the box, which you can see, and it's focusing beautifully, although I do want to cut into something nicer for you, plus things may key out. And then we'll get to the trailer as I tell you about it. In this pandemic thriller, ooh, perfect timing, Patient Zero. Humanity is battling intelligent, adrenaline-fueled creatures born from a viral super strain. After being bitten, human survivor Morgan Matt Smith realizes he is asymptomatic and can communicate with the infected. So many buzzwords. Leading the last survivors on a hunt for Patient Zero and a cure. The cure? No, a cure. And yeah, so this should be like 2019. It's 2018, and directed by Stefan Ruzowitzki. Sorry, I cannot not make a Stefan Urkel joke. But hey, I mean, look at my name, I get a laugh. Oh, it's a nice tight 87 minutes. It is rated R. I think this one's gonna be too gruesome for Mary, but the cast, I believe, is going to intrigue her. And again, I don't have this. This is definitely one that I wanted to see. I thought the trailers looked really good. I do seem to vaguely recall maybe some reviews and stuff, like it's not that good, and that's why I kind of got dumped direct to video or something. But I know it's definitely something I was excited to check out. So I'm excited to check it out. And I assume the trailer is still playing, and I'm at a weirder angle than usual, so I gotta be careful. I'm trying to peek in and just see just the spine. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I don't open the pack exclusive first or next, so I've got them in the right order. But yeah, I mean, Matt Smith, I love that dude. Come on, Doctor. You gotta love Matt Smith. Natalie Dormer, I mean, like one of the hottest ladies on Game of Thrones, who is also a fantastic actor. I'm not trying to say she's just hot, but she is damn hot. And of course, Stanley Tucci. Anything Tucci's in, I'm gonna enjoy. Stanley Tucci is always a good time. Always a good time. And I'm just realizing how much I miss having Mary in these videos, because to leave the 3 minutes I try to leave for a trailer to play, our banter really helps pad out that time, and I still got like a minute left. Theoretically, while we're at it, let me ask you this then. Would you rather in the future, I'm not gonna do it in this one because I'm asking you now, so definitely comment below, would you want to look at my face in the reviews, or should I put the trailer over the review for the movie? If I put the trailer over the review for the movie, we can get through the unboxing faster. So those of you that are only here to see what's in the box, you don't have to spend as much time watching the video. Granted, that's not as good for me, but it is a possibility. It is an option of something we can do. So that's something fun to talk about. And then I don't really have to worry about this. I just have to make sure my reviews are longer than 3 minutes, which they usually are. But then again, you might just want to see the trailer without having the reviews, because sometimes the reviews have spoilers in them. But yeah, man, Patient Zero, a pandemic, disease, cure, asymptomatic, all these things that we're living through right now. This is gonna be a really good watch. I'm excited to check it out. By the way, hopefully doing these videos separately, we'll get back into time where they can come out more reasonably. All right, we're gonna move on to the next movie. I think that was enough time. Next we have, all right, well, I do have this, and I just watched it the other day, and I've already reviewed it on Patreon. Oh man, that means I gotta watch it again. Well, I've got some time before I gotta watch this. I was like, oh no, it's a little too soon. Or do I just cut in my Patreon review? Oh, you probably wanna know what it is. We got Annabelle from the Conjuring universe. And I had not seen any of those movies until very recently, and I watched all of them, and they were really fantastic. It was because I got the Annabelle NECA action figure. I was like, I guess I need to go watch these movies. This is one of the better ones. Outside of the Conjuring 1 and 2, I think this is maybe my 4th favorite in the universe, maybe my 3rd, I don't know. I know a lot of people kind of poo-pooed on this one a little bit, but I really enjoyed it. I like the atmosphere, the tone, all that stuff, but I guess I should save that talk. Mary would have reminded me. I should save that talk. Let's show it off, and then I'll read and blah, blah, blah. So here's the back. You can take a nice little look at that and, give it a nice little gander. Hopefully, if you want to pause, you can read all that. And there is the front, so you can do the same thing there, give you an idea of what the stuff actually looks like. And in this thriller, based on the terrifying doll from The Conjuring, John has found the perfect gift for his wife, Mia, a rare vintage doll. Morty. But Mia's delight with Annabelle doesn't last long. Special features include The Curse of Annabelle, Bloody Tears of Possession, Dolls of the Demon, A Demonic Process, Deleted Scenes, and it is directed by John R. Leonetti. It is a tight 98 minutes from 2014. It's a Warner Brothers release, rated R. It gets inside your head and it stays there. But yeah, I mean, I watched some people complain about some of this, and I'm like, I don't really agree with some of the complaints, because I quite enjoyed what I saw here. I mean, again, I wasn't looking for a lot. I'm not a huge ghost story kind of movie kind of guy typically, or like, spirits and possession and whatnot. But the Insidious films were great, and the Conjuring films were great. Even like some of the worst Conjuring films, like I was really disappointed in The Nun. I feel like there was so much potential and like just the gothic setting and the characters and all of that. But just the story and the way it all played out just was not fantastic. I think that's my least favorite, with The Curse of La Llorona being my second least favorite, although I did really enjoy that one. I don't know what people really had issue with that. And then I liked all the Annabelle films. I know some people didn't like the third one or the second one? The third one, that was all in the house with the Warren's daughter, but I really liked that because that set up a whole bunch of other stuff for the future and had a lot of really cool just creep factor and just running around that house and keeping it self-contained like that. I found that to be a very, very good time. But yeah, the Conjuring films themselves are definitely the strongest, and when you have the Warren characters, that's definitely when this series is the strongest as well. But I'm excited to watch out for the Crooked Man, I think is one coming up, And there were definitely some other spin-offs they could get going. I don't know if we're getting another Annabelle. We got an Annabelle trilogy faster than we got a Conjuring trilogy. That's really strange as well. But I'm super excited to actually check out The Conjuring 3. I forget what it's called. The word devil is in it. But, you know, so, I mean, it's kind of a good time. And I don't know, I may just have to cut the trailer short because I don't think I can talk all by myself, for 3 minutes about a movie that I saw recently and can't remember because that's how I roll. You know what? I'm gonna say 2.5 minutes is good enough, right? The trailer is probably fine. So we're 1 for 1, although I do know Annabelle is good. So I mean 1 for 1 in terms of what I own, what I don't, and whatnot. Now let's get in here and see what the third video is, or the third Blu Ray. Occasionally 4K. I don't think we got any 4K in here though. I saw all blue spines. I didn't mean to look at that. I was just trying to see the spine for the number, but hey. All right, here we go. What do we get? Well, you know what? This means I get a rewatch. I think my favorite of this series. I definitely own this. I am excited to rewatch this though. We get Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark. I love the Mega Shark series. Let's do this right though. So let me get to showing you all the stuff. So here is the back. You can see the back. You can take a moment or two to look over what's going on all that beautiful artwork and whatnot. And then here is the front. And again, if you wanted to pause and take a better look, you definitely absolutely can. So I'll give you a second on that. And we don't have a lot to read here, but I think the trailers are pretty short. The epic battle saga continues on the scale of Transformers and Lord of the Rings. I mean, kinda. When Mega Shark returns, the government unleashes the top secret Mecha Shark to defeat the monster in a pitched battle that threatens the planet. Starring Debbie Gibson, Christopher Judge, Elizabeth Rohm, I think is how you say it, R-O-H-M. Original widescreen presentation, 5.1 surround sound. Those are not special features. I hate when movies list that as special features. Cast and crew commentary, the making of Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark, bloopers and trailers, directed by Emil Edwin Smith. And hey, co-produced by Paul Bales and produced by David Michael Latt, some of my Twitter buddies. I don't know how I got that lucky. This is, of course, from The Asylum. It is a tight 90 minutes, 2013, and it is unrated because, you know, it's TV. It ain't gory or anything. It's a giant shark versus a giant robot shark. And I mean, that should be enough to sell you right there. This is the second in the series after, I think the first one's just called Mega Shark, I think. I don't remember for sure. And then oh no, wait, this is the third in the series. Because I think Crocosaurus was second. And then Colossus is 4. They're all great. The first one's the least interesting because they didn't quite understand the camp factor as they do in the future of these things. But this one I know just stood out as my favorite, and I'm definitely excited to rewatch it. Because I mean, come on, dude, they make a giant mecha shark. Like, that's just too cool. This is perfect drunken movie fodder. And you know what? I'm actually gonna look. I'm looking at that case and I'm like, I have to own that, right? Maybe I just watched it on Amazon Prime. So I'm gonna jump into my Movies app. I use My Movies Pro, in case you were wondering. And I have to wait for it to decide if it wants me to synchronize or whatnot. Now, of course, outside of the Mega Shark, obviously Sharknado is my first go-to silly shark series, but Mega Shark is easily my second go-to silly shark movie. So, so we have the Crocosaurus on a 2-pack, two-headed shark attack. That's double feature, that's why it's under there. Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. I believe that is the first one. Oh my God, wait a minute. I don't have this. I must have just watched this on Prime. So hey, bonus. How do I not have my favorite one on Blu-ray? Well, I do now. Thank you, Horror Pack. Well, awesome, unless it just didn't get scanned somewhere, but that's unlikely. So there you go. I got 2 out of 3 of the regulars I don't have, which means 3 out of 4 in this box I'm not going to have had. So I'm very, very excited about that, and I will toast to it. Spooky wine. This might be September's box. I don't know. It seems early. All right, last but not least, we have the Horror Pack exclusive, and it is Betsy. Okay. One of the things about switching to still frames is you're gonna be able to see this art better, hopefully. I can barely see it. The the insert is slipped out of the plastic as well, so that's kind of crappy. And it's a horror pack number 51. The back of the box is not great, but we've seen worse. Here is what it looks like. You can take a moment to check that out and look that over if you want to. Like we've said, we always play the game with the horror pack. How bad will the art on the exclusive be? Sometimes it's really great. A lot of times it's not. I hate to say it, but I have to admit. There is the dark as all hell cover to it. So you can take a second to look at that. And of course, this is horror pack number 51. And, oh, interesting. Okay, right off the bat, here we go. Betsy is a werewolf film with heart and bite. PopHorror.com. After surviving a vicious attack in the city, Betsy moves to the country in hopes of starting over. As she begins to recover, something begins clawing its way into the moonlight. Best Director, Midwest Horror Fest 2018. Official selection, Motor City Nightmares International Film Festival 2018. Official selection, the International Horror Host 2018. Official selection, Scaricon. Official selection, Nightmare Film Festival 2018. The film has the perfect look and is great homage to classic werewolf films of yesteryear, says Mac Brewer of Horror Society. Bonus features include, gag reel, maybe Mary will check it out, interviews, and Betsy black and white alt version. Oh, that's kind of neat. So you actually get two versions of the movie on here. So you get a black and white version. I wonder if they've actually color corrected it for black and white or if they just desaturated and threw it on there. But that's actually a nice little gimmick of a special feature too. So I do appreciate that. I'm not seeing a runtime on here. So that also tells me something. This could be like 70 minutes for all I know. It's directed by Sean Burkett. Okay, do I recognize anybody from the actual credit block? No. Okay, I don't know any of those names. It doesn't. Oh wait, Kenny Bates is an executive producer. I wonder if that's the Kenny Bates I know who's involved in horror filmmaking. Actually, I'll have to go look. Maybe I do actually know somebody from this, so that'll make it a little more enjoyable. It's from The Bloodshed. It's unrated. This film contains violence, nudity, sex, and profanity. I mean, that all sounds like a good time. I don't see a year, even in the copyright, I don't see a year. 2016. Okay, so that sounds about right. And again, horror pack number 51. So, okay, we got 3 out of 4, and I just wish I hadn't seen Annabelle so recently, but I'm ready to give it another go. I'm real excited to watch Patient Zero. That's the one I'm most excited to watch out of this. Betsy might be interesting. I think I got a good feeling about that. And if I get married to watch any of these, it'll probably be Mega Shark. Just, it's like I'll make a big old batch of margaritas. We'll have a good time with that. If we can get it out near the fire pit, if we get one more good day before the winter comes in, throw that up on the projector, drink some nice drinks or whatever. That could be a good time. But overall, there you go. That is Horror Pack for September, October. I don't exactly remember. So you can let me know. What do you think about these? Do you dig the new way we're doing it? I know it might be a little sad, but you're gonna get Mary and other stuff. She's not going anywhere. There's just too much, and and then I get backed up waiting for her to be available to shoot stuff with me and the timing. So this just makes our lives a lot easier. So thank you for bearing with it. But how do you feel about these movies? Which of these have you seen? Which is your favorite? How do you feel about the Conjuring universe? What do you think about the Mega Shark movies? If you could have another one, what would it be? I actually, because of a joke I think Paul made on Twitter recently about wanting to tie into the Tiger King somehow, I was I think it was I was saying he should do Mega Shark versus King Tiger. Would be the way you would really want it, because it just has a better ring to it, but you could play on the Tiger King, kind of thing. But that's just me. Let me hear your thoughts. Definitely geek out with me in the comments below. I look forward to all of that. And I guess if I didn't already cut to the reviews, I'm cutting to them here. I don't usually ask for comments until after the reviews. Let's do that again. So here's the reviews. Okay, so last night I watched Patient Zero. I remember seeing the trailer for this. I remember having pretty good expectations of it, thinking it was gonna be pretty good, but that cast and everything and the concept and the look of it, whew, that was rough. It's not the worst movie by far I've ever seen. And again, the cast is great. I think the cinematography is great. Performance here or there, maybe some of the dialect is not as spot on, or maybe it's just because I can't hear Matt Smith not be the Doctor. It's a little off-putting, but that's just me. The real problem with this movie is like they had everything they needed to do something pretty cool and interesting, and the script is awful. The script is very undercooked, full of stupid things. I can see why this thing was shelved for a couple of years. It's rather annoying. There's a couple of really good gore gags in here I do appreciate. And then also, honestly, I got to do some spoilers. So I'm going to give you a spoiler warning. If you don't want to hear, you can click ahead to the next review or, jump on out of the review or whatever, because I have to talk some specifics in here, some things that really bothered me. And considering I'm not recommending this, I feel like I can just go ahead and tell you. So there's your warning, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. There's like things early, like it's nice to see Samuel Tarly in here, but like the whole thing is if that commander, the asshole military guy, is down there to protect them when things go wrong, why is Samuel Tarly running in there to a loose infected and trying to electric stab him? Things like that bug me. I don't know how I'm supposed to like Matt Smith when he's cheating on his wife with the Doctor, that he's apparently loves her so much they're trying to save. The wife is so barely in the movie until she needs to be. Like, she doesn't feel like she was really laid into the film properly. There's a bunch of flashbacks. Occasionally the flashbacks feel like they pop up in the right spot in the film. A lot of the times they feel very forced into just awkward positions and just like, why are we going to a flashback here? And then sometimes it doesn't even make sense whose flashback we're having. Yeah, there's some really crazy dialogue stuff going on in there. The movie really picks up when Stanley Tucci shows up because he's just fantastic. He just commands the presence on the screen, and I think he ups the other actors in the film as well. All the characters, though, terribly cliche. You can see it all coming from a mile away. Basically, the way I sum up this movie is they put like all the cliches that ever existed in film onto like a giant Wheel of Fortune wheel, and then when they went to spin it, instead they decided to throw it like a frisbee at the wall, and like almost all of it stuck. So pretty much all the cliches land in the movie, and it's rather annoying. The infected don't really work that well. I don't mind this idea that he can communicate with them, they're speaking a different language, and that they look at us as the problem. I think that had some real potential that's kind of undercooked in there. But then there's things like, they're still humans, they still go down like a human body. So like when they're all jumping from the rafters near the end, coming after all the people living in that underground bunker, some of those people, you see them drop 3-4 stories right under their legs and run, and it's like, no, you'd be breaking ankles. So things like that just bug the crap out of me. The music harmonies disorienting their senses is pretty interesting. So I thought that was kind of neat. I like how Stanley Tucci infiltrated the place and everything. So there's things that are very cool about this. And then there are things that are just really bad. And ultimately it's like a first draft script, and it's just very undercooked. And yeah, it's not really worth your time, sadly, which sucks because of all the good cards it had stacked in its favor. Apparently the director went on to make much better films, but this is not one of them. So, whew. I mean, I watched it. At least it wasn't really boring. It was just frustrating because of the stupidity of some things. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on Patient Zero.
Okay, so it's like 4 a.m. I just finished rewatching Annabelle, and I still really like this movie. I saw this for the first time maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago when I watched the entire Conjuring universe. And I know some people have some problems with this one, but I really like this one. First off, I have to admit, I'm watching this down to the wire before this review. This video is out in less than 12 hours from me filming this, and it's late, and I don't sleep a lot lately because I work and I stay up too late. So honestly, knowing this is kind of a slow, quiet movie, I'm kind of amazed I wasn't falling asleep during it. So that should be a real indicator right there. I'm going to try and do this with no spoilers, but there are things I like, and I think this is an interesting perspective seeing this, only having seen it for the first time 6 months ago, so that, kind of also changes things. I didn't quite like it as much. I wasn't quite as engaged as much, but that just happens with films like these. I do love the opening to this. The whole Manson family-esque element of it, I think, is great and something I wasn't expecting when I first saw this. So I think that whole sequence is great. I do think the passage of time is portrayed well here. I really like the character of Evelyn, who finally it hit me. She's Mariah on Luke Cage, and I realized she was Lily, I think was the character on Star Trek First Contact with Picard up there. I mean, so it's like, damn, man, I looked at her IMDb, I'm like, that lady works. She has been in a lot of things. But yeah, it's really good. Some of the scares are still very effective. The whole sequence in like the elevator in the storage area of the apartment building is still fantastic and weird and trippy. The book dropping scene, again, trying to keep this non-spoilery, really frightening. The one jump with like the person running towards the door and thing happens, that's huge to me. I think that's really clever filmmaking right there. The interesting thing about the Annabelle series, and particularly this movie, is a lot of people, myself included, if you just know like the trailers or the title and the cover, you're gonna think, okay, haunted doll, blah blah blah, which I mean it is, it's a possessed doll, but it's not like Child's Play. It's not a creepy doll goes around and kills. The doll really has very little to do with anything. So it's always a little bit kind of strange that for such an iconic looking character doesn't get a lot of play in the films itself. However, there is one very creepy moment with a brilliant reveal that makes it even creepier that I really enjoyed in here as well too. I think the ending is pretty great and pretty satisfying. I still am a little aggravated with the priest stopping and looking twice. It's like, just go, bro. But all that kind of worked out pretty well. And I do like where they left it somewhat ambivalent. I like the cookie cutter vibe of the main characters. I like that they're going for that Rosemary's Baby-esque vibe and tone in this, which I think they really nailed with a bit of a modern flair. So yeah, overall, Annabelle is great. And even though I thought maybe it's just a one-time watch, great. No, it's still really great. I'm really amazed how into it I still was, even having seen it so relatively recently for myself. So yeah, man. Again, another one of those things where Horror Pack sent me a version of something, or sent me a copy of something I had, but I'm glad they did because it made me watch it again. And I'm also glad they did because it turns out the version I have, there's like a tear in the front cover. That sucks. B is a Blu Ray only. And Horror Pack sent me the Blu Ray DVD combo. So I just went ahead and opened that. I'll sell the other version. This way, if my Blu Ray ever messes up, I have a DVD backup, So yay, physical media. But yeah, man, this is really, really good. I think most people think the second Annabelle is the best, but I really like all three Annabelles, and I think this one's incredibly solid and awesome. So that's my thoughts on Annabelle. Another pretty good horror pack. Maybe not the best horror pack, but for me, it's a pretty good one. And I can already tell you next month has some great ones. All right, that's it. All right.
So there was this time that I was on my knees. Oh, crap, you hit the floor.
I don't know if they can hear that. But we just finished, I am drunk. We just finished Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark. I love the hell out of it. Mike's gotta get out of here. So we may include this in the horror pack review, or it may just be part of Patreon, but I just want to get a quick summation of Mike's thought. Keep in mind, we did turn on subtitles. We turned on like night mode or whatever. So we didn't pay as much attention in the beginning as we did near the end when it gets great. But what's Mike's thoughts?
Definite top 3 Asylum movie. It was absolutely amazing. Had
Mike, move into the light.
I'm in the light, Caroline. Great movie. Everybody watch it.
There's Mike. But Mike is like me. We love Asylum movies. Okay, I'll get me and Mary's review in a minute, but it was so cool. We said this was the drunk... I feel bad for people. This was the best drunken movie night no one ever gets to see. We had such a blast. And Mike gave me had an amazing idea for something we may do in the future that's not quite a drunken movie night, but something in that vein that is way fucking fun. We'll figure it out. All right, I'll be back. So, horror pack people. Oh my God, the lens is over there. I'm drunk.
Yes.
Which is how you should watch a movie like this. We're fire pitting. We watched it on a projection screen. Our buddy Mike Elmore was here. We just had the best drunken movie night y'all never get to see. But Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark.
That's one of those movie titles where we have to be careful to enunciate.
I know, right? My quick review, this is going to be probably short because I don't know how much Mary's going to say. My quick review is, I believe I have a solo drunken movie night of me watching this, which you should watch, but it's still my favorite of the Mega Shark movies, and it's so fun. It's the fun, like the goofy funness of it is not quite there in the beginning half. Like it really builds in, especially if you're drinking. Like if you start drinking during it, and then like by the time you get halfway in, and now the alcohol's kicking in or whatever. And not that it has to be drunk to watch, but then it gets really good. And there's some epic moments and some moments where, like she suggested with Mandalorian, I grab a pillow so I can squee into it late at night at 3 in the morning and not wake her up. I had a moment or two of that with this show. Granted, I've seen this movie a few times, and it was just awesome seeing Mike after so long, along with Mary, and just us having our chemistry kind of enjoyably making fun of a movie. And I say enjoyably because I want to make it clear. We're not making fun of it. We do love it for what it is. Or at least I can speak for me and Mike for sure. But again, music draws you in. Effects are fun. You actually kind of care. Some of the performances are like, what? But in the best of ways. Effects are like, what? But in the best of ways. Ridiculousness in the best of ways. There's some callbacks to like the original. Lots of stuff I love. But what does Mary... Oh, now the battery warning just showed up. But what does Mary think?
I'm not entirely sure what this is doing in a horror pack.
It's a shark movie. Silly, dumb movies count. Mary was on her phone playing video games through half of it. I should also point out. I should also, in all fairness to her and the whole experience, point out we are outdoors. We are by a noisy roadway. We are trying to volume manage so we don't, bother neighbors too bad. And we did have subtitles on eventually when I figured it out. So it was a little hard to engage in the beginning of the movie. And then later in the movie we're engaging, but we're also having fun talking. So
I think for me is when I don't get to hear the first 10 or 15 minutes of the movie where they're doing all the setup. It's kind of hard for me to get invested and pay attention to it later on.
And I'd say that makes sense, but at the same time, this is an asylum shark movie. The plot doesn't matter that much.
And how many times did you calm me down for using science?
Well, that was fun, because that's what Mary's saying is like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, it's mega shark versus mecha shark.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be scientifically perfect.
It's like, this shark just did a belly flop from 10,000 feet. I'm pretty sure it should be liquid by now.
Right, which is like, come on, man. This is just a good, fun, dumb time. And that's the thing about horror. Horror can be very general. That's why I'm happy to have this in Horror Pack. I can understand people who might not be happy with it. But this is a offshoot of horror.
See,
the campy, goofy parody horror. It counts.
Okay, I'm just saying, there's nothing horror or scary about it.
I think the only horror, even in that regard, connection is that it's shark. It goes in the shark category, which could be its own super subgenre of horror. However, in agreement with what you're getting across,
I feel like it's more of an action movie.
I was just about to say, it's a bit more parody of like a giant Michael Bay, Jerry Bruckheimer action film. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. But it being horror in Horror Pack is because shark movies, no matter how dumb, weird, crazy, they're playing on like your like sharks are creepy vibe, which I know they're not in real life. I'm not, but so that's why I appreciate it being in Horror Pack. That's just me, and I'm also very drunk.
But if you just want a goofy action movie, sure.
Where you just want cool. See that I will take that as an approval, and 100%. Put that on the poster. If you just want a goofy action movie, then ... Sure. Quote Mary. I'm not even joking. That's kind of the perfect summation. All right. Obviously, I love it, but I love these movies. My second favorite series from the Asylum outside of Sharknado. I want more. I want Mega Shark versus King Tiger, but that's just me. All right. I know this isn't the last movie in the box, and we got to wrap up this fire pit. Next movie. Okay, so Betsy. Whew, that was boring. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Bye. I mean, I guess the cinematography and stuff was all right, though it's nothing special. The performances were okay-ish. But man, is this a dull movie. I did watch some other reviews on this, and I forget who it was, but somebody was saying this thing should have been like a 10-minute short film, and I'm like, okay, sure, in that regard. The transformation in this, why even bother? The coolest part, there's actually like a mid-credit scene. That's probably the best part of the whole movie. It's a much better movie in that mid-credit scene. That would have been something a bit more interesting. Yeah, this just didn't work for me. like at all. I was so bored through this whole thing. And there's a really grating music cue in this that it's this one note and it plays through almost the entire movie. It is just maddening, and that really adds to the aggravation because it's so dull that you then focus on that even more. And wow, that's annoying. I'm trying to remember. It's been a couple of days since I watched it, and I really barely remember anything about it. I almost forgot about that annoying music cue. A lot of the actors in this, I think, are in different movies. They're all coming with very different tones and energies, and none of that really matches up or melds together. There's a lot of lacking logic in the story and the characterizations of things. It's got 10 minutes of credits, if I recall, if I'm thinking of the right movie, so it's barely even a feature film. Think the actual movie runs just about 70 minutes. The gag reel is dumb. The characters are boring. Everything is boring. I don't think this is worth your time, at all. I'm not sure this is worth anybody's time. I kind of regret spending my time on it. I could have been playing video games. But hey, I saw it. It got made. It got released, so we got to give it credit for that because that's a feat in itself. Apparently this guy made Don't Fuck in the Woods, which is supposedly a much better movie. So I don't know what he was going for here, but yeah. And it's obvious and predictable, and there's just really nothing interesting about this. So that's it. That's Becky. I got nothing else. It's such a boring movie. There's so little that happens. There's really nothing to talk about, too. Even the kills, the violence, boring. So yeah, they ought to just somebody has to take the cover art that you can barely see and just superimpose, change that in that font to just boring. It'd be more truth in advertising, but sorry, sometimes we get things that I just don't like. So that's my thoughts on Betsy. Next horror, this month's horror pack wasn't the best. I mean, Mega Shark, I can see a lot of people would really end up hating this month's horror pack, other than maybe Annabelle. For most people, nothing in there is going to be a really great time. However, I'm super stoked about Mega Shark. So, all right.
Okay, so now comment below. Let me know about the Mega Sharks, the Conjuring universe, what you want to see. How do you feel about this? At least it gets the videos out quicker, so maybe you like that about it, and all that kind of stuff. What did you think about my reviews of the movie? Do you agree? Do you disagree? All that kind of stuff. That's always interesting as well. So I'd love to hear what you have to say there. And other than that, you can click that thumbs up button. Give me the good old thumb of encouragement, as I do love to be encouraged. Check out my Patreon account where I do all kinds of video game Let's Plays, movie reviews, food, vlogs, all kinds of stuff. Whole bunch more. New video every single day over there for $1 a month. $1 a month gets you hours upon hours of new content every month. So you can check that out by looking up TheEricButts or using the links in the description below. And don't forget to use my horror pack link because it helps you and it helps me, and it's a good time, right? All right, other than that, I guess that's it. I'm going to get on out of here so I can go watch some more stuff, and I'll see you all later.